Good morning. All right, we are going to make a chocolate cake, and I think this is titled like the world's best chocolate cake or something. Yeah, there it is, the best chocolate cake ever. So this is what we're gonna make. I will leave a link down in the description. Tomorrow, today is May 17th, so you'll see this video well after the actual tomorrow. But tomorrow is my birthday, so I thought I would make myself a cake. So yes, I splurged and bought powdered sugar and cocoa. So we are going to make this cake, and we are going to start with the boiling water. This recipe calls for, where's it at? A teaspoon of espresso powder. Now, I don't have any espresso powder, so we're going to use coffee. So the recipe also calls for a cup of boiling water. So instead of the espresso powder and boiling water, we're going to add 8 ounces of coffee. So we need 8 ounces of coffee. Or 9 ounces. If you see the chocolate cake recipe calls for espresso and you don't have any, it's okay. You can substitute regular coffee and you'll need to do it for part of the liquid, right? So now that we have that, we need a half cup of vegetable oil or canola oil. So that is 4 ounces. So let's tear this out. I bet there's 4 ounces left in here. What do you think? 4 ounces of oil. Well, there's a little more than 4 ounces in there. All right, so we got that done. 4 ounces of oil. A teaspoon of, it says kosher salt. Folks, don't get tricked by that fancy pants stuff. You don't need it. You need 5 grams of salt. There we go. 2 cups of sugar. I need to look that up. 8 ounces is not a cup of sugar. I need to look it up. 200 grams is a cup of sugar. So let's tear this out, and I'll get my sugar. And I'll tell you how many ounces that is as soon as I know. But here's my sugar. I need 200 grams to make 1 cup. So that is 201 grams. So let's see how many ounces it is. Okay, so 200 grams of sugar is 7.1 ounces. Let me show that to you. So there's 7.1 ounces, and we're going to move the unit up 2 grams. 201. So 7.1 ounces of sugar is a cup. So I need another 200 because it calls for 2 cups. Yep. So I need to make it all the way to 400. No, 407. Alright, so there's all the sugar we need. 3/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa. I got 6 ounces. So this 6 ounces of cocoa was about $4 at Dollar General. And you might say, Stacy, 6 ounces is 3/4 of a cup. Yeah, but like the sugar, 6 ounces is not 3/4 of a cup. So 1 tablespoon is 5 grams. So we got, let's see, we need 3/4 of a cup. So that is, yeah, I gotta go do more math. My brain is not mathing at all today. All right, 3/4 cup of cocoa powder is 75 grams. All right, so we want 75 grams, and I'll tell you how many ounces that is here in a minute. It smells good. Come on. Oh, what is going on with this thing? There we go. All right, we need 75 grams of cocoa powder. Oh, this will be plenty. There we go, 75 grams, or 76. So 76 grams of cocoa powder is 2.7 ounces. So 2.6, 2.7 ounces is what the 3/4 cup is, and there's actually a lot of cocoa in there. So we got 2 teaspoons of baking powder. That is 10 grams of baking powder. There's coffee all over my baking powder. It's sitting next to the coffee grounds, which is why there's coffee all over my baking powder. So just wipe that off. And I'll get a spoon. So I need to tear that out. I need 10 grams of baking powder. Huh, there's 10. That was, okay, come on. Went down to 9. There. So I put 12 grams in. I'm not concerned. 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda, so that is 7 grams. So 7, 8 grams. There we go, that's good enough. Already got the salt in, already got the coffee in. A cup of milk. All right, the milk is still from the food pantry a couple weeks ago. Although I am running out, I'm going to have to probably go get some. Oh, that's disgusting. I bought some happy birthday decorations a bit back, and they're all right, but they can leave a lot to be desired. All right, so I need 8 ounces of milk. The milk is fine, I just tasted it. So there's 1.1 ounce. There's 8 ounces of milk. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. That would be 10 grams. Or 17, 18 grams, you know. I already did the boiling water, so all we need now, oh, I need 2 cups of flour. That's going to be 120, 240, 240 grams of flour. I wonder where the flour was. I skipped it. It was the very first ingredient. 240 grams of flour. accidentally just put 255 in there. Now I need 2 eggs. And I'm gonna crack them into a bowl just because I want to make sure I don't get any eggshells in all of these other expensive ingredients. So yeah, we'll just crack these eggs in a bowl. 2 eggs. I need to see when my cottage cheese expires. I have not opened it yet. It is sitting there looking at me in the fridge. 1 egg. One of the first things I ever baked as a kid was a cake. Yep, that looks good. Just making sure I don't get any eggshells in there. So there's 1 egg. All right, we need egg number 2. Let's see what we got here. Here's a little eggy. All right, that looks good. All right, here is egg number 2. All right, you might be wondering, Stacy, how much does this cost? Quite a bit, because you'd be looking at $7 just for the eggs and cocoa powder. And if you're wondering what the food pantry bought of this, it was the milk and the oil and the flour, actually, and the sugar. Actually, I still had quite a bit of food pantry stuff for this cake. The food pantry supplied the granulated sugar, the flour, the butter, or not the butter, the oil and the milk. All right, let me make sure that that was everything. 2 large eggs, no one. Yep, that is right. So I'm going to make sure my bread machine is clean and plugged in, because I'm going to have to make it in the bread machine. I don't have the right pan for my toaster oven, and one of the elements is now out in the toaster oven. It happens to be the bottom one, which is the most important one. So we're not baking anything in the toaster oven for a while. Not until I can get a new toaster oven. And it's going to be a minute. I didn't spend all my birthday money this year, but the toaster oven is going to be about $80, and I've only got 37 left. I use my bread machine often, but I don't use it daily. So I always like to wipe it out just a little bit with some vinegar. I didn't see anything on the paper towel, so we're good to go. I need to look up where the cake setting is. I don't remember. It's been a while since I made a cake. Let me see what number the cake is, if I can find my book. Oh, I knew where it was. It's amazing that in all the years I've had the bread machine, I still have the book for it. The book has seen better days, but I still have it. Cake is setting number 10. And let's go over and take a look at it. Actually, I might be able to get a light on it. I have a few little disc lights. So we're going to go take a look. There it is. And that will just continue to mix. And it'll take it, I don't know how long this takes. 3 hours. So there it is. Whoops, I guess I could leave the light on. And it'll mix for quite a while. Anyway, all right, I'll be back when the cake is done. All right, I am almost ready to start making some icing. And for those of you going, Stacy, why did you buy $5 worth of butter and $2 worth of powdered sugar to make icing? when you could have bought a $2 tub. Well, here's the deal. I can taste the chemicals in the pre-made icing, and that kind of ruins it for me. Because the cream cheese icing that you get at the store tastes like plastic. And I know that I'm not making cream cheese icing, but the chocolate doesn't taste any better either. Probably turn on a light. I thought I did. Forgot to plug in the microphone. I'm not even sure it helps much. Something about this camera just doesn't agree with any type of microphone, not even its internal microphone. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make some icing, homemade chocolate icing. And I don't buy store-bought because I don't like it. It's just yuck. So I've been letting this butter soften. If you don't take the butter out of the fridge, it is just going to be ever to mix it up. Because it is just tough stuff when the butter is super cold. Although that is good for making biscuits, super cold butter for biscuits. Icing, you want it a little bit soft. And you don't have to have a lot. This obviously will be buttercream icing. My cake has got, let's see how much time's left on the cake. 54 minutes. My cake has got 54 minutes on it. So we're going to add a little bit of this cocoa. Oh, it's not even closed. What the heck? Alright, so there's some cocoa. And it is Hershey's cocoa, but it's not like Dollar General had another brand. It was Hershey's or nothing. So even if I wanted Ghirardelli or something like that, it wasn't there. So we'll start with just mixing up the chocolate in with the butter. Yes, chocolate icing still gets a little bit of vanilla. And it actually gets a little bit of salt, too, to balance the sweetness. More than that. There we go. It is really, really windy out and just a little bit chilly. You can believe that. Alright, so we are making chocolate icing, homemade chocolate icing to go with the from scratch cake that is in the bread machine. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Now we need some sugar. Wish I would stop setting things in puddles, that would be nice. Now, powdered sugar, just a little bit of liquid or whatever, dissolves a whole lot of powdered sugar. See how it just sort of balls up? Alright, now we get out the milk. And this is where it gets, you gotta be real careful about adding too much liquid. The milk is designed to make it a little bit creamier. That is delicious. But it is not enough to cover the whole cake. And no, I don't have a recipe for this. This is just my icing. I just put the ingredients together until I like the consistency and the flavor. Well, the consistency, the amount of icing, and the flavor. And then once I'm happy with all three of those things, it is done. This is just about done. A little drippy. It's good. It's still a little drippy. This is it right here. Yep, this is it right here. I think. Still a little drippy. Nope, I think that's perfect. Just a little too sweet. Oh, this cleared up the last of the consistency problem. All right. This is done. Good. That's perfect. That is perfect. All right, I outdid myself on that one. That's amazing. All right, this is a raging disaster. All right, I'm going to clean up this mess and I'll be back. All right, I almost forgot to show you the end result. I dumped the cool cake out of the thing, and a bunch of the, about the last half inch in the bottom didn't come out, so I put it on top and then poured the icing on. So that's why it looks the way it does. But I'll be darned if I'm going to waste any cake, folks. But that's what it looks like, and I've got it on the cake pan. So I'm going to eat this. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will bring another video to you tomorrow. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe.